And then you can communicate. So you can communicate. So you should tell everyone about your study. And maybe you could get a job offer in Nature magazine. I don't know, just a thought. By the way, Nature magazine is the most prestigious science magazine of all time. But if you have like an enlightening subject or a very important subject to the whole process of science and different fields, maybe you could tell a scientist. But nothing we will be doing in school will probably lead to such a big, outstanding job offering. But anyways, that's the final step of scientific inquiry. Pretty simple scientific inquiry is. And yeah, that's basically all you need to know for scientific inquiry. But that's not all the test is about. The test title is actually a little bit misleading. But the test covers a lot more. So it also covers laboratory safety, which just has to be done. It has to be gone over. You just can't be running around in the lab and doing stuff that is not lab-esque. So this test will also cover, laboratory safety. No horseplay. That's why there's a horse here. So the general rules: read lab procedures carefully and listen carefully to your teacher's instructions before beginning a lab. That's kind of a duh. Keep work area clean and organized. Be sure you have no backpacks or unnecessary books. So just free of clutter, basically. Do not eat or drink in the lab. Very important. That could mix with chemicals and just create all sorts of yuckiness. And then do not engage in horseplay. Dress code: tie back long hair. You see that woman in the clip art there. You shouldn't have that long of hair. You should tie that back. If you do have that long of hair, you roll up long sleeves. Wear an apron during every experiment. Let's just say that apron is the white thing she's wearing. And then wear goggles when working with chemicals, glassware, flames, or sharp instruments. That will definitely be a question. When do you wear goggles? That'll definitely be a question on the test. You would say when working with chemicals, glassware, flames, or sharp instruments. First aid: report all injuries, even minor ones, and first aid needs to the teacher immediately. Know where the first aid kit is located in the classroom. Know where the emergency shower and eye wash stations are. Know where fire extinguisher is in the room. So basically, the first one, report all injuries, is pretty obvious. To say, oh, I just got cut by a scalpel or whatever. I'm pretty sure that in 7th grade science class, you probably hurt yourself as much by bumping into a table and bruising your knee than you do working with hands-on labs. I mean, if you're clumsy, maybe you would get have some sort of injury, self-induced injury, but just be careful. You need to know where the first aid kit is located in the classroom. It's basically just up on the shelf. The emergency shower and eye wash station, Miss Heaps went over that. You should know where that is. Know where the fire extinguisher is in the room. Now, I'm not even sure where that is, but actually I do. I know where that is, but it's kind of hard to explain where it is. But first aid continued. Know how to call in case of emergency from the phone in my office. And this is, I copied and pasted this from Mrs. Heaps, so the phone in Mrs. Heaps' office. Dial 911 for medical emergencies, or 2739. That's the hook to the school nurse for non-life-threatening ailments. I just posted that clip art. I don't know, that must be in Russian at Texaga, but remember dial 9911 to get out of it's just something you have to do with the school phones. I don't know what it is, but that's what you have to do. So dial 9911 for medical emergencies, which will I'm 99.9% sure won't happen. Heating and fire safety. You should always wear goggles when using a heat source. Never reach across an open flame. Do not pick up a container that has recently been heated with your bare hands. I've picked up a hot rock that was sitting on a fire and got terribly blistered. And I was 3, so I learned that the hard way. And you just need to use an oven mitt or clamp, just like if you're working in the kitchen. Like, you just don't take a steaming steel plate out of an oven. I mean, you just don't do that. Then you never heat a closed container because the gases of whatever is in the container might build up pressure, and then explode and send shrapnel everywhere. Pretty obvious, all those. Electrical safety. Make sure equipment is off before you plug in or unplug electrical equipment. So basically, you can get electrocuted if that happens, well, you could get electrocuted if your hands were wet, but yes, you could just burn out the system for number 1, make sure equipment is off before you plug in or unplug. Your hands must be dry before you plug in or unplug electrical equipment that you risk of electrocution. Do not stretch a cord across an area where a person could drip. Pretty obvious. And the cord could snap too, and the person could also drip. So, again, very straightforward. Chemical safety. Dispose of all chemicals as instructed by your teacher. Do not return chemicals to their original containers. If a chemical spills, tell your teacher immediately. That's kind of easy to remember. Then wash the area with water and soap if you want. Do not smell, touch, or mix chemicals unless you are instructed to do so. You could get brain damage if you smelled a little bit of poisonous chemicals, which we won't be using, but, we're just saying. If you're instructed to smell chemicals for whatever reason, smell with a wafting motion, so basically just like, waft your hands up to your nose. You know how to do that. Glassware safety. If glassware breaks, notify your teacher immediately. Ask your teacher to dispose of the broken glassware in the glassware sharps disposal box. Never eat or drink out of glassware, because the glassware could still contain remnants of a chemical we've been using, and that would have not been good for some chemicals that you didn't want to drink. Just for breaking glass, you don't want to step on it and slice your toe open. It's just, even though you're wearing shoes, still, it's just dangerous. If someone trips for whatever reason and lands on the whole array of glass, that would not be good. So, just notify your Miss Heaps immediately, and she will take care of the broken glass. Sharp instrument safety. Use scalpels carefully. We will be using scalpels. Always cut away from you, not towards you. Always, and that's just actually common kitchen use equipment or knowledge. Always cut an object that is in a dissection pan. We'll be dissecting a sheep kidney of all things. So that sheep kidney will be on the dissection pan, and you should not cut that sheep kidney on another surface or in your hands, because you don't want to get sheep kidney stuff in your hands if you cut yourself. So let your teacher know immediately if you cut your skin, so you can wash it. Animal and plant safety. You should avoid touching any poisonous plants and fungi. Poisonous plants, Miss Heaps told us that she hasn't seen poison ivy around for a while, but you should look out for poison ivy, poison oak, and poison sumac. But some poisonous fungi I know of. I'm not sure if the fungus inhabits here, but there's this fungus in the air, and there's also could be fungus. There's one called the fly amanita, and that's pretty dangerous. I don't know if that is living around here.